So, Lindley, the imp in me wants to blame you for our topic today, but the rest of me will say thank you. You have inspired me to go back to some books on my bookshelf and spend far too long rereading them. Gary Snyder's The Practice of the Wild, Barbara Kingsolver, High Tide in Houston, Robin Wall Kimmerer, The Braiding Sweetgrass, and the aforementioned The Geography of Childhood, all of which I recommend, and these are not exclusive in my library or things worth reading in the world. And in that reading, there was less writing, but also a lot of reflecting. Clarence Mervyn Meader, my paternal grandfather, was born to a farming family in rural Nebraska. But Clarence was really good. He was book smart. And when he was 12, as I understand the story, the town doctor took Clarence under his wing and said, "I will help you with your schooling, and I will help raise you so you can go to college," to give my grandfather the support he might not have gotten in his own family. And so the family left the farm and went to the town. My grandfather, if I haven't mentioned before, was first a high school science teacher and football coach in Menominee, Michigan, took classes during the summer at the law school of the University of Chicago, and got his JD degree and went on to be head of the National Labor, NLRB, whatever that stands for, their office in Minneapolis. I was raised by parents, Donald and Emily, with professional jobs. My father was a chemical engineer and manager who worked in pharmaceuticals, and my mother was a public health nurse. And when she couldn't find work in that field, she became an EMT and then a paramedic. We'll tell those stories another day. But my parents knew their plants and animals and birds. They were both great gardeners. My brother is too. Those skills seem to have passed me by. I do not have a green thumb. But there's a sensitivity that is in my blood. And when I walk our dog Watson, in the morning, we take in the new day and the last walk of the night. The stars and moon keep us company. The last couple of nights, just a sliver of a cup of moon. Absolutely gorgeous. And so Wendell Berry's poem resonates deeply in me. He is a writer and a farmer in rural Kentucky. He knows the physical world, the natural world, better than I do. But that doesn't mean I haven't noticed things during my time. On a city bus in Minneapolis when I was still an undergraduate, I noticed all the squirrels and all the things coming up in the sidewalks, and I realized our effect on this world is fleeting. The natural world will survive us all. There will be monuments and concrete chunks everywhere, but things will absorb those over time. And as Liz noticed here this morning, there was a creepy crawly, 2 of them, which you humanely removed from this hall. Thank you. So the overarching question for us this morning is, what keeps you grounded when you wake up in the least sound at night in despair of what your and your children's lives may be? And I don't have an answer for you. I'm curious. I would love to hear. We're not going to spend all day. This will not be an exhaustive conversation. I have one little story from this week's walks with Watson to share. But the overarching question I hope to engage with you here and there in the days and weeks to come. What do you attend to when you wake up at night, afraid of what this world may become? Each morning these days, just about sunrise, I walk our dog Watson across a busy intersection along Crow Canyon Boulevard. We live, Ann and I, in San Ramon, just on this side of things. Watson and I go through a busy intersection, up a hill, passing medical offices and housing subdivisions, into a San Ramon Village park. The park is two hillsides, and at the top they're pretty steep, with a small stream cutting through it. Mill Creek Hollow, it's called. It's on the map. You can find it. And when the scrubland and woods end, a traditional suburban park begins. You nodding like you know it. There's a picnic area, a small playground for the young kids, and benches for sitting and taking everything in. Watson and I have encountered quail, wild turkeys, and coyotes there. He's very interested in those coyotes. We try to keep a distance. And the last time we saw the coyote wanted to play with Watson, so we walked the other way. Last Monday, walking back home from the park, there was something I've never seen before. A roadkill turkey on the sidewalk at a corner with a four-way stoplight. Now, I've seen all kinds of roadkill. We all have. Squirrels, deer along the freeways, occasionally cats, dogs, and skunks. But this turkey captured my attention. It didn't look broken. It was just dead on the sidewalk. Who would run over a turkey at a stoplight? And it wasn't next to a dedicated right turn lane, but still. But it happened. A prime example of what Benjamin Franklin thought should be our national symbol lay dead right there in the middle of the sidewalk. Thankfully, Watson didn't fuss too much when I backtracked to both of us and steered around it. That was Monday morning when we noticed the turkey. By Thursday afternoon, someone had taken the bird away. I hope it was the county's animal control. But then on Friday morning, on the hillside across from us, there was a lone wild turkey among the grasses. Had I ever seen a lone wild turkey before? I don't know. I don't think so. And then this morning on the way in along Crow Canyon, there were two wild turkeys on the side of the road. Life goes on. And that perspective keeps me grounded in the literal and metaphorical sense of the world. I remember a night, this is completely off script, I was traveling internationally for the first time. I'll tell you about this more another day. My father had an extended business trip to Dublin, Ireland when I was an infant. And so after a few months there, Mom and I joined him. And so for 5 months, between ages 7 months and a year old, we lived in Dublin. And it was a great trip that I have no memories of, except for one picture. We stayed with a woman at the Dublin Unitarian Church who didn't see the red cheeks that most healthy Irish kids had. And so she put me up in the high chair and spoon-fed me Guinness. And there's this big expression with my legs up and my smile on my face as she's got a spoon. And so after I finished my undergraduate work, I worked on a construction crew to save money. And I gave myself, with a little bit of help from my folks, but mostly it was money I saved, 3 weeks in Ireland traveling by myself. And it was wonderful, and I learned no matter where you go, there you are. You know, I wasn't a different person, I was me. And I wanted to be a writer at that point, and so I wanted to get to know the people and spend a lot of time talking and learning them and having, you know, great drunken song fests and things. And one night, I was dismayed because that wasn't happening. And I wasn't really connecting with people. And I walked from my place at a B&B down, this is on the Ireland's western shore, to a little town called Clifton. And there in a pub called Humanity Dick's, it was for a Sir Richard who was into animal welfare. On the way there, I looked up at the stars and the sun. It was mostly clouded over, but I could see a couple stars and the moon, not the sun. And I realized, Eric, you're just this little thing. You may be precious, but you're just a little thing. Let go. Let go. And I said, okay, we'll let it be. We'll just have a fun evening. And I heard stories about a man who saved this little girl. I tried to hit up some American other female travelers. It didn't work very well. But I had the time of my life because I let the rest go. I don't know what works for you. I'm curious about how we keep our sense of perspective in all the troubles in the world right now, where we find hope, how we see ourselves in this amazing, beautiful, beautiful world. Look at this.